The following episode was recorded live on Radio Row at IT Nation Secure in Orlando, Florida. A special thank you goes out to our partners, LionGuard, BVOIP, and TrueGrid, for making this trip and coverage possible.
Hello friends, Uncle Marv here, back with another interview from IT Nation Secure in Orlando. And my guest now is Danny with ThreatLocker. You know him as the man in the Iron Man suit from Zero Trust World.
The very uncomfortable Iron Man suit.
That thing was pretty heavy too.
It was pretty heavy, and it was pretty cool. But It was very heavy and very uncomfortable. Although I did manage to drink 3 drinks without breaking, and I only broke the third one.
Oh, well, listen, Iron Man can only be contained for so long, right?
Yeah, that's it. and then I went and I turned into a cyber hero instead.
There you go. And I know that the suit was actually donated to. It was raffled off, right, for charity.
Yeah, actually, it was raffled off, and the winner. So there was a bid. It was a bid,
right?
And the winner actually outbid the next person by $100, and then didn't pay the bill, which was interesting.
Wow.
So I ended up paying the bill, and I have the Iron Man suit in my house right now, looking out the window with a light on to scare people.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I would have just given it to the second person.
They didn't want to buy it then. They'd already gone and spent all their money on something else.
Okay.
We did offer it to them, but they didn't. So gotcha. I just paid the raffle. I just paid the fee to run up with Donald and.
Okay. All right. So since we last saw each other, and I know you don't remember, but I was there at Zero Trust World. You guys made a ton of announcements. You guys ended up the user product, the store product, all of those things.
Yeah, so we had the user store, which was really cool because essentially what it allowed as an MSP to do was you could go out, publish apps that were permitted by your users,
right.
And if something is blocked, the user gets to see alternatives. So they download some made-in-China PDF writer, and it says, hey, you can't run this, but you can run Foxit or QPDF
right.
or something else, and it will give them alternatives, which was a really nice feature. And the other things that have been really popular is the web filtering.
Yep.
That thing has exploded. And what's really cool about that is that it's got this really nice approval process. So when something gets blocked, it's not like DNS where you get a cert error.
Right.
It's integrated into the agent. It intercepts the block. It says this was blocked. It does a request. You can approve it in 60 seconds. But also, when you request something, it goes straight to the Cyber Hero team if you've got our Cyber Hero approval. So they'll review it to see if it's a mismatch.
Right.
But also, every time something gets blocked in a category, a human in ThreatLocker combined with second and AI. So we have a human making a decision and AI making a decision to determine is the site categorized correctly.
Right. So the user, we don't have to actually submit a request to say, hey, this is miscategorized.
It automatically starts.
Nice.
Somebody starts looking at it right away.
Very nice. Now, that was a lot of stuff. And then you added or perfected the EDR component as well. So
yeah, and the EDR is actually we in ThreatLocker we split out our EDR team from the rest of our team because we figured it's such an important component.
Right.
And the EDR component has been growing and growing and growing. And some of the cool things we added and we continue to add is we added the ability to do data exfiltration detection. So you can chain things together, policies together. So you can say, hey, if someone goes to box.net or Dropbox and they upload more than 50 files, then I want to automatically block the browser from accessing files because there might be a mass data exfiltration.
Right.
We added the ability to auto-respond to policies as well, so you could say things like, hey, if there's more than 50 invalid logins, just shut down RDP until someone can review it, or block PowerShell if someone's got on my server. And this really makes a difference. When we see our MDR team, what we did is we looked at what our MDR team was doing, and when an alert comes into an MDR, at the fastest possible pace, they're trying to make a decision in near real time. Do I lock down this server and potentially take somebody's server offline?
Right.
Or is this a real attack? So some of the things you can do is you can actually set it to, hey, if X, Y, and Z happens, if your threat score gets too high, shut down all admin tools on the server. So let's slow the attacker down. Let's shut down PowerShell and command prompt. Let's take away elevation rights. Right. Let's prevent writes to the host file. And this means if there is someone on your server, we're buying time for an engineer to determine, is this a real attack or is this a false alarm?
Right.
And in the meantime, worst case scenario, you lose access to your admin tools for that 20 minutes.
You're not stopping users from doing their regular stuff with sending mail, working on documents, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and again, you could literally say, hey, you can integrate with Windows Defender. So if someone downloads a piece of malware with Windows Defender, you could say, until this is reviewed, we're going to block access to PowerShell because maybe somebody's trying to do something. And
Right.
it's really granular,
Yeah.
those kind of policies. And then the ability to auto-reply with recommendations too.
Yeah. So I've not yet jumped on any of the new stuff. I'm still using the ThreatLocker core stuff. So waiting to get a little more feedback. Some friends that are using everything, they seem to love it. A question that I have is all of this seems to... are we still doing just a single agent for all of this?
We're still doing a single agent, but the features turn on or off depending on what you turn on or off. And what's nice about this is it all collects... it's able to respond much faster. So if something gets blocked from your allow listing products, you can immediately, it's like milliseconds before you can respond with an EDR policy.
Okay. And this isn't going, if you activate all the features, it's not going to overwhelm that one agent?
No, and actually we have a new build in beta right now, 10.1, and ThreatLocker CPU is so low anyway. But we've actually managed to reduce our CPU overhead in our testing by something like 70 to 80%.
Okay.
Just on improvements we're constantly making. And everything we're doing is like lightning speed and in memory as fast as possible. So you'll see the CPU really low. And when you don't, it's normally because some weird file-based ERP, we need to make some exclusions. But with the new changes, we've managed to, by caching things like certificates and file information, so we're not having to reuse that information.
Right.
On our test, it was over 70% reduction in CPU time.
Okay, very nice. Other things that you guys have done, you've been busy, I know that. So I know that you mentioned something about your CMMC.
CMMC, yes. So we've been heavily busy. We work a lot with federal government agencies. So we've got like parts of the U.S. Navy that are customers. We've got a lot of airports and financial companies that work with the federal government. So it was very important for us to achieve FedRAMP. So we went through our FedRAMP audit. We now have our clean 3PAO. So if there's any CMMC customers that require a 3PAO, because that's a new rule that came into place, we can cover you from an EDR point of view, from a whitelisting point of view. So it helps you check off things, but also it helps you, we're compliant as well, because your vendors now have to be compliant. And I know a lot of the MSP vendors are struggling, because it was over $1 million to get that audit done. It's not cheap to get the audit. So a lot of the MSP vendors are struggling with that. So if you've got a need for elevation and you've got to be CMMC compliant, we already got that 3PAO, so that's really nice. And then we have the new stuff that's actually going to help you tell you where you aren't compliant with CMMC, with HIPAA, with NIST 800-171-53, 853, ISO, all of those we're going to show you with this new feature that we'll be launching soon, which is defense against configurations.
Very interesting. You said soon, so I don't want to get too greedy, but any idea when soon might be?
So we have a webinar series right now. It's called 100 Days in Office Without Killing Your Approval Rating.
I've seen it. I haven't attended one. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, it's the best attended webinar we've got. And what we're doing is me and Rob, every week, we're on week 4 now. You can watch the old ones on YouTube. We're basically giving you an hour of things to do. Well, we're doing an hour with you of this is how you and it's not just ThreatLocker stuff. It's last week we focused heavily on these are the things you should be turning on in Office 365.
Right.
And we're walking you through it, and then we're giving you 2 weeks of homework. 2 hours of homework, sorry. And then the week later, we come back, and the idea is if you're a CISO or you're a security director or you're an IT director, you just started a job, how do you make your environment as secure as possible in the first 100 days without really annoying your users? And we're going to go through steps to do simulations and make sure you're putting all the right steps in place. And at the end of that webinar series, so it's 100 days, and week 5 is coming up now, so it's pretty soon. We're going to launch that new it's going to be a new feature, so you'll be able to see all of your configurations in ThreatLocker, and then there's going to be some extra cool stuff on the compliance if you want more.
All right, very nice, very nice. All right, let's try to go a little light here. How is it being here? Oh, by the way, I almost drove by your office the other day. I have a client up in Maitland.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize they're literally less than a mile from you around the corner.
If you're ever in town, come by the office, see the office, see the studio there, and we can do a podcast on site.
We'll have to do that, because that was Sunday, and I knew all your people were here, and you're probably closed anyway.
But we're never closed. The office is there 24/7, but they'll probably look at you like they've got 2 heads if you come into the sock in the middle of the night.
Right.
But
Who's this dude?
Well, our support runs there 24/7, 365 days a year.
All right. What I was going to ask is, of course, Zero Trust World was here back in February. A couple of security conferences. What's it like to have all of them here in your backyard, and you don't have to travel?
It's great. In some respects, it's a pain. So we did 850 conferences last year. We attended 850 conferences worldwide. And I travel to most of them. And the ones in Orlando are great because I can just get up this morning like I did, get up, drive down, do my keynote, meet you, and then I can get back to the office and do some work. The downside is, if I'm meeting customers all day, I've now got to drive home when I'm finished rather than just stumble up to the room.
Right.
So that's the only downside about having them in Orlando is I don't get that, okay, I'm going to bed and just die in a hotel room. I get in the car, I go home, and
you probably get questions. How was your day?
Yeah, and then I get up again the next day. But also, I get to spend more time in the office, so that's great because we've got so many new features and upgrades and everything coming out. As much time as I can spend with the support team, with the product team, is better for the product.
Okay. Well, again, I said that you were busy. I didn't realize 840 conferences. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's and literally, I did 6 countries in 5 days.
You must have some rewards program that
unbelievable number of points. So it literally, I'm all over the shop, and because we're doing really well. Like, we've got an office in Australia,
right.
We've got an office in Dublin, we've got an office in Abu Dhabi. So those locations are exploding as well.
Yeah, it's been nice. It's been a wild ride. I'm on it with you. So thank you for all that you do, and look forward to what's coming down the road. I will hop on the 100 Days podcast series or webinar series. Like I said, I'm busy too, so I didn't want to do homework right away.
If you get someone on, it's really, it's not all about ThreatLocker. We're trying to keep it. Hey, there's all the tools to do this, but we're trying to keep it as neutral as possible. Like, okay, this is what you need to do this week. You need to deploy an agent that monitors this. If you can deploy the ThreatLocker agent, great. If not, use any EDR. Our goal is at the end of these 100 days, we've got more MSPs secure. And we've got more of our customers secure and more non-customers who are thinking about, I should do this. This is why it's important. And we're trying to tell you why along the way as well.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Danny Jenkins with ThreatLocker, folks, if you need him. And thank him very much. Head over to the YouTube and catch up on the 100 days like me if you're behind. If you were at one of those events, you got to get by the booth. They've got a pretty decent set of swag stuff over at the booth. So.
Yeah, we got some cool, and we got these new. They're not at this event yet because we got to get rid of the old ones, but we got these new "Failure is not an option" T-shirts.
I was waiting for the new ones. I have all the colors of the old one hanging in the rafters. I need to get the new ones.
For those who attend the webinar, we're going to be mailing those out at the end as well.
Okay, great.
So,
all right, Danny with ThreatLocker, thank you very much, sir, and for everybody listening, thanks. We'll be back with more from Orlando. And we'll see you soon. Holla.